Alright, I'll do folks. Oh, Mark's 1205 numbers. That's the name. A little tight Tuesday action over here. A little Black Ops Cold War alpha footage. Now, I mean, I think it has it over there, the code on the side over here, but the Cold War alpha over here this past week kind of caught me off guard. I really wasn't expecting it. Didn't really play it that much either. I probably put in maybe 3 hours total, if that, maybe like 3, maybe 245, 3, something like that. We got some good games, we got some bad games, we got some good stuff, we got some bad stuff. I'll probably do a mix and match of these next 2 videos of it. Apologize for no sound. I have absolutely no idea, but the sound just didn't record. Maybe it was like a PS4 setting or something I probably had to change, and I just didn't know. Capturing on the PS4 is so weird. Little quick sidebar on that. It is just so weird. I don't know. You have to go into settings and stuff. When I capture on my Xbox, I just like plug it in and that's it. And I'm just glad I do most of my gaming on the Xbox. Because the PS4 to me has always been a little bit wonky. And obviously it's a system that won the generation, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. The exclusives are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. And I guess the share button thing on the thing does make it a little more user intuitive. I don't really do that at all. So either way, I have absolutely no idea. There's probably some setting I needed to change, and I didn't really realize it because it all kind of happened in one day that I played all these games and stuff. So no sound. If you want to give my professional opinion on the sound sounds fine. No, the sound sounded pretty good actually, and you wouldn't be able to hear it because I'm talking. But let's start with that as a good bad kind of thing. The good thing is you're able to hear enemies' footsteps again, right? You're able to hear kind of like where they're coming from, and to me it worked very, very well. The bad part about that to me is it's almost a little bit too much. I would almost compare it to like Modern Warfare 3, like was kind of the last time that I remember like sound whoring to like the degree that I was sound whoring in some of these instances in this game. There's a perk called Ninja, which allows you to move quieter, not silent, but quieter. We'll get into that. We'll get into the fact that you can put Ninja and Ghost on the same. I don't know. Some of the balancing stuff really needs some work on. But let's stick with the audio here for the beginning. So you could kind of wear Ninja and be heard less. Obviously, I didn't really compare to and fro with that, but I did feel like I would run into people that had Ninja, and you really pretty much could hear them at the same level when they're close to you. It's just I think the further they are, like you don't hear them at all, whereas other people you would hear them. I make no doubts about this though. Like Soundhorn is back full blown. Like if this kind of stays where it's at right now, you're able to tell and hear things like very, 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 very well. I don't have a problem with it. I just wish it was a little bit turned down. I think it's a little bit too much for where it's at right now. And maybe this was the alpha. Some people were playing. I played some games where like I was kind of just going slower than what I would expect and stuff. Like I was kind of always the one that was moving, and just running into people that weren't moving. So maybe when the actual like game comes out, everybody's like playing it and stuff like that. After some time, we will start like kind of getting used to that kind of feel, and you'll start to like hear the footsteps, and there'll be streaks going on, so maybe you won't hear them with that. Maybe they'll be a little more muffled. But as of right now, to me, the footsteps, I would turn them a little bit back. I think it's good. I think it's always been good that you can hear kind of like where stuff is coming from. I think it's an advantage you have if you have headsets and you're kind of like engaged with the game. And obviously, if you were actually in this situation, you'd hear footsteps. I think it's just a little bit too loud right now. And it's too loud to the point where to me it was like a weapon. I don't know if I do it in this video, but there's some videos over here on this Miami map where I'll kind of just like be like kind of like a little bit hidden on like a side of something, just waiting for somebody to run by, and then I'll just jump behind them and pop them. We're talking about those kind of levels of like sound horn that you could like really use. And I wasn't even using that good of a headset on the PS4. My Xbox One for some reason isn't compatible. Once again, I don't know, the PS4 is just weird. But my Xbox One isn't compatible, whatever. So I was using kind of a little bit of crummier headset with the PS4, and I was still able to hear everything perfectly fine. So I imagine if you had yourself some Astros or something, you'd hear a lot of other stuff. So that's kind of where the sound's at right now. And you can't hear it in the game, but that's kind of what it is. Outside of all that, the guns, whatever, all that stuff, it sounds fine. It sounds like a Call of Duty game. Nothing really stood out to me exceptionally at that. Let's talk about the score streaks. Let's go to that first before we go on anything else. The score streaks, right? So they changed up how you get them. I don't even know fully how to explain to them, but basically they're more like support streaks where they don't reset. They do have like a cooldown though. Like you can only earn them every like 90 seconds is what I saw for some of them. I don't know if that's all of them, but whatever, you won't get it that quickly, probably, maybe, I have no idea. So, let's say, whatever, forget the cooldown thing, but there is a cooldown, so you won't be getting like spy plane, like back to back. Even if you earn it, you'll have to wait till it cools off for 90 seconds. here's the issue with it. When you go to the score streak menu, right, it tells you, hey, this streak is worth 3,200 points. You know, I think that's a chopper gun or something like that, or maybe that's an attack helicopter. The chopper gun might be double that. And you're like, okay, cool. And then you start playing the game, and you're playing like TDM, and you're like, it's like 50 points a kill, maybe, or 100. I don't remember what it was. Maybe kill confirm was 50. Okay, so you could do the math and kind of add it up, and you're like, damn, like, you need a lot. But then there's this whole multiplier thing where as long as you're getting like streaks, your points that you get accumulate are more, so you'll get closer to like what you're looking for, which is fine, right? In theory, it's okay. Like the idea isn't that bad. The problem is I never had any idea how close or far I was from a streak. There's a little bar next to it that tells you like how close or far you are. But hell if I know how many numbers it takes for me to get there. And sometimes you'll get, or oftentimes you'll get like a spy plane twice before you even get the like third streak. It just seems way too complicated for what it needs to be. Listen, man, a chopper gun is 11 kills in a row. Boom, get 11. Because I play differently if I'm on a 7 kill streak and I'm like, yo, I'm 4 away from the chopper gunner. Then I'm on a 7 kill streak and I'm like, well, I have absolutely no idea when I'm getting this chopper gunner. So I'm going to still try to kill people, obviously. Like, I'm not going to, like, die on purpose or anything like that. But I'm a little bit more loose with things. The other negative that I saw about it is in objective modes. I didn't really feel there was much of a need to play objective, like, the objective. Like, I didn't feel you were getting, like, compensated enough or really doing any sorts of, like, damage enough to, like, do that. The streaks, to me, like, overpower whatever points you get out of stuff, like, out of your objectives. I don't think you can really tell that much in this gameplay right here. But I played a game on Satellite. That's kind of like the desert map, which probably next to Miami was my favorite. I heard people didn't like Miami. I really liked Miami. I thought Miami was like... I thought all the maps were great. We'll get to the maps. I thought the maps... Well, I don't know about great, but they were solid. Let me change that. I thought all the maps were solid. I didn't really think they were great. I thought they were solid. But the score streak thing. One thing I noticed when we were playing Satellite, I think we were playing Hardpoint. And I was like kind of the only one playing the objective and stuff. And my team was like up big. Like, I don't know, we were up maybe like 200, I don't know, 200, but like 125 to like 10 or something like that. Like, we were killing it. And then all of a sudden, this other team got a chopper gun. And I was like, oh, sick bird. Like, what happened? Like, what the? And then I got like a notification. The guy was like on 15 kill streak on the other team. My dude was just like sniping all the way like in the back. And that was it. I don't know if like that should be rewarded. Like, he never even got to the objective. Like so. What I learned from that was that the score streak portion of this, like the actual streak part of it, is extremely important. Like, getting that multiplier going and rolling is huge towards getting closer to your streak. And in an objective mode, it's almost more rewarding than actually winning the game. Now, obviously, if you want to win the game, then you want to win the game, right? That's the most important part. But if you're just looking to like kick ass, then you could go into these games and kind of mess up like everybody else's fun. I like it both ways, right? I like it when you could, play hard on the objective and also get the score streak. I had a lot of games where I was playing hard on the objective. I was getting, bloodthirsties, like, fighting off people off the hard point, boom, 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 boom. And then somebody else would call him chopper gunner that wasn't ever anywhere near the objective, but he had like a longer streak. And my bloodthirsties were pretty much useless because, like, I guess, didn't get like 11 kills in a row or 12 or something like that twice or something along those lines. So I think there needs to be some tweaking in terms of what's valued in kind of like the point system, if this is what they're going to keep, which I assume they are going to keep this. But ultimately, I would prefer to go back to score streaks how it was, and straight up, hey man, a napalm strike costs 600 points. It's 100 points per kill, so that's 600. But hey, if you cap like a flag or whatever, that's like 200 points, so it's obviously a little bit less. Like, give me that math versus what we have now, which is still it's still that same kind of thing. It's just there's this whole streak multiplier thing that like matters a lot more and kind of values that more than the actual objective kind of gameplay. At least that's how I felt about it. Another thing too, very petty, small little pet peeve of mine, but I always say when these games come out, I wish you could attach the score streaks to the class and be able to change them according with the class. I think the last time Call of Duty did that was Modern Warfare 3. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to keep going back and changing score streaks after every game, depending on like the map, because some streaks work better on some maps than others. There's some maps where there's actually room for a helicopter to do some damage, and there's other maps that there isn't room to do some damage. And when you don't have a lot of time in between lobbies and stuff like that, I don't know. We'll get to maps tomorrow. I want to push the maps a little bit tomorrow. The gunplay and stuff. I didn't really use too much gunplay. Too many different guns. Pardon me. I kind of stuck with the AK-47U. I got a really good feel out of that. I ended up running a suppressed with Ninja and Ghost. Oh, all right, let's just dive into this. But whatever. I use that. I use I don't know if it was an M4 or something, whatever this gun I have right now. It pretty much feels like a commando, honestly. So I kind of used that for a little bit. It was pretty good. But I ended up using a submachine gun for like most of the time. Everything kind of felt close quarters, and how I was playing everything was pretty close quarters. So I didn't really feel the need to like extend that much. Snipers, though. The snipers definitely came out, for sure. Now, I saw that they said that they kind of like bumped them up for the alpha to kind of test it out, whatever. That's cool. I'll tell you right now. Tone them back down, though. They're like way too crazy. I got popped by snipers from all over the place, quick scoping back 100% to like 1,000%. Like, whoa. Like, you put in like a ton of bullets and you see this guy's health bar go to nothing, and then you just get quick scoped out of nowhere. Same thing with flinch. There's not much flinch really when you get shot and stuff like that. So I was like melting or I thought I was melting dudes for like snipers left and right over here, and then they would just snipe me off with one headshot, and I'm like, okay. I was like, guess that's that. So snipers to me could be toned down just a little bit too. We don't need to tone them down like all the way, but you know, there's gunfights where like you feel like you deserve to win, and then you put in that serious work, and then just someone goes, and you're like, oh, like that's that. I guess I lost. So tone those down a little bit. Everything else kind of felt alright, honestly. They all felt pretty like generic to what they were. They really felt like other Call of Duty guns, you know. It kind of felt weird. I feel like Treyarch kind of mishmashed a bunch of other weapons like put together. Like the AK-47U felt like the AK-47U felt like Black Ops 2, you know. This Commando felt like the Commando from Black Ops 1. I feel like if we go down the line, there was a gun that like felt like the FAL. And that thing was nasty. It was only on like one of these like creator class things I already made. I do use it, I think, to take down like rockets or something like that, or to take down choppers because it had a rocket launcher on the back. And that thing was nice, man. Like it was like legit. I was like, yo, like this is no joke kind of thing. Like whoa. So I'd be curious to actually try that out as well. But all the guns relatively felt bad. I didn't really feel like anything too crazy. I like the shotgun secondaries as well. I think they're very useful. I think it was very cool. I would just kind of switch to that in like a close range engagement and kind of just end somebody's life like that. Just boom, boom. They felt pretty strong up close and not as strong as far, which is how shotguns should feel. It should be the opposite with snipers, right? They should be very good up far and not as up close. But yeah, the snipers are a little bit much. They can be toned down. Tomorrow, let's talk about maps tomorrow. Maybe some other things that I can think of over there, because I got some positives about the maps. I was kind of down with the maps over here. Look at my man putting the work over here with the shotty. By the way, Tight Tuesday to the limit here. First game I played. Woo! Nasty.